Hey, what's up, guys? So in this video, I wanted to talk about multiple universe theory and what my experience has been. So what this universe looks like, and I have remote viewed this universe. It looks like a big toroid. It looks like a big donut with a center of it, and Father or Source has showed me the epicenter of light in the entire universe, and it looks like he took me to the center of it and showed me what it looks like, and it's like he showed me 500 blue giant suns. So if you want to look, like, our sun is like, I want to say it's like this small, and then a blue giant is like this big. So our sun is very, very small compared to a blue giant. It might even be bigger than that. But he said there's about 500, or the size of the epicenter of light on the in this. Okay, they're telling me. So there's, it's like the size of it is like 500 blue giant suns put together, and that's roughly the size of the epicenter of light in the entire universe. But uh, they're saying, they just interjected and said, but the size really doesn't matter because it's the potency of the light that is really the powerhouse of the entire universe. And yeah, so that wanted to come in. Okay, so we get into semantics, and a lot of this experience and a lot of this wisdom, I guess I should put it, came from criticizing the Greek gods, and I had a lot of interactions with the Greek gods, and they turned out to be not very good. But and I kind of saw through their bullshit and questioned them a lot, and because they were claiming to be the creators of everything, and even they're claiming to be the creators of every single universe in known, or every single known universe. So like our universe looks like a toroid, and Archangel Metatron is the being encapsulating that universe, or this universe that we live in. We're just this tiny micro speck floating in this sector of the universe, on, and it kind of looks like noodles wrapped, like these channels of light. um Okay, so I just asked, they're like noodles twisted into a donut, and there are these channels. So when we look through a radio telescope and see these thousands and trillions or whatever galaxies, that's just in one little noodle of this universe. So you can only imagine how big it really is. So it would just be one slice of this noodle. And you know okay, I just asked, what percentage can we actually see of this noodle, I asked, and they said 7%. So if you took us like a if you did a circumference of that, of where we are in the uh in that noodle, and okay, they said about 500 noodles, 500 tubes of light that are twisting in on itself, going to this epicenter, and they're saying 7% of just of just one section. Okay, of the whole noodle, apparently. So even though it's twisting in on itself, we could look in one direction and see 7% in each direction. So let me ask this question. Okay, so if we were to see the edge of this noodle, it would just look like more light. That's what they said. Um, and let's see what else. So back to the Greek gods thing. They were claiming to be the creators of every single universe out there, and I doubted that because I started thinking like, what is your human definition of universe? Um, and okay, so what they were saying was like they were the creator of the light of all lights, and they say the name Jehovah is the definition of it is the light of all lights. But what's your definition of light in a human construct? What's your definition of light? The light of all lights could be our single sun. It could be the sky. It could be the sun, including all the stars. All the known stars. That could be our definition of light. What is our definition of universe? You know. Okay, and this. So Michael is saying that the definition of this toroid, it could have a completely different name. It could have the name source, right? Which is saying that is one of the names. And it's funny we bring up names because I just had a dream last night where this other fractal of Michael, we were very cool story. I won't get deep into it. Michael, do you want me to? Okay. He said no. But he told this other fractal of Michael told me his true name, and it's his name gifted to him by his father, Michael. And every single fractal of Michael has their own true name. And in the book Aragon, okay, so that's true. In the book Aragon, and every time I ask, I can feel my wings beat very hard, and I get this tingling rush down my spine to kind of confirm things. My telepathy is getting a lot better. I can't hear full sentences, but if my energy is up, I can get clear communication from Michael, and so true names, in the book Aragon, he talks about how his master Brahm talks about how if an opposing wizard ever gets a hold of your true name, it can mean your death, because your true name is one of the most powerful spells anyone could ever wield, and that's why. So when he told me his true name, it was like a sacred pact between two fractals of Michael, and I, of course, my human vessel, of course, forgot it like the moment he woke up, or the moment I woke up, and I remember complaining or saying, wow, they've only told me my true name twice, and I wouldn't ever say that. But what I was getting at is that source, he might have a true name, but he would probably never reveal that, because it could probably, if it got in the wrong hands, then it could mean the destruction of the human race. It would probably, if you learn to, father would probably wouldn't allow it, but it would be too powerful for a human. It would be like the concept of a sorcerer versus a wizard. Like a sorcerer always runs the risk, or it's like the sorcerer has spells in his repertoire that are too powerful for that are dangerous, and that would, knowing your true name and knowing even greater the true name of source, it could mean the destruction of your body, like in a flash. It makes me shiver because of how powerful that would be. It just sounds super dangerous to me. So where were we going? Okay, back to multiple universe theory. Um, uh, so um, so right. Okay, so that ties in back to Jehovah. So if Jehovah was truly the name of, like, the true name of the creator of every single universe out there, let me ask how many. Okay. They don't want me to really know. I was going to ask how many universes are there. They said more than 20. I honestly don't know how many there are. So, um, but it's I can't fathom. It wouldn't, that maybe there's not that many. I mean, this universe is giant. I mean, it's huge. So, but let's see. Back to, yeah. So if Jehovah was truly the name of the creator of all things, the light of all lights, it wouldn't it wouldn't make sense, because giving a human mind that name and being able to, like, make spells and channel that, it wouldn't make any sense that that creator of everything would even do that. It would just be too dangerous. Because if you, yeah, it would just be too dangerous. So moving on, to my knowledge, there are 7 physical Earths. So there have been. Okay, so the first split was in the 90s. Um, there was another split in 2012. So it was basically like an Earth splitting off, like a parallel Earth. So if you can think about the Mandela effect thing, that came into play in the early 90s, I believe. And there have been, I guess, what would that be, 6 different splits? Yeah. So wait, do the math, carry the one. So I think 6 different splits, and this one that we were on was the lowest one. And there was a really big split in the 2016, or the 2020 election, when Biden stole the election. There was a so Trump and his guys are on a different Earth. They're also here, and their souls are also right. So when there's a split, the soul will still be there, and people are still real. But the vessel, like, I have only experienced one timeline, but my soul is experiencing 7 different timelines. Or okay, they said 4 for me. So I've only participated in 4 different splits in my lifetime. Um, and what Michael has told me is that I wanted to come to this lower Earth to save people. And I remember early on in the starseed awakening process, they were saying that you shouldn't have a savior complex, and I guess that's true looking back at it. But I kind of wanted to experience lower dimensional realities to be a badass, you know, and to go fight the good fight, and it, who cares if one more light goes out if a moment is all you are, you know. And that was kind of the early Starseed movement that I was seeing. And Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, wrote this song called One More Light, and I kind of fell into that mentality. Like if everyone just ascends, and all the dark souls and dark being, or not dark souls, but dark beings out there just fall into madness and chaos and destroy themselves, and no angel is going to be there to to help them. It seems wrong to me. So I think that's why I'm here on this one. So yeah, so your soul basically takes over, and when these timeline splits occur, and so yeah, so that could be happening everywhere. You know, if you flew to Alpha Centauri, there could be, you know, 20 different Earths there, and it's like don't doubt the power of God, because he could do anything. He is the creator of everything. In Father is the creator of everything in this universe. Source and Father would be the creator of everything in this universe, and he would be the most powerful being in this universe. That's another thing that I really thought about a lot is like, say there's 20 different universes, and there's one creator of the first universe, right? Like there would be no point in that creator coming here and being a dictator, you know, because respect is a universal trait. And in anthropology, you talk about universals between all cultures, and it just makes sense that that creator, like if you created something, and that being was highly intelligent and wanted to create his own thing, like you wouldn't go to your son and be like, no, you can't paint that, you can't open up your mind and paint whatever you want, you have to paint it like I want to paint it, you know. It just doesn't make any sense. So that's a really big one, is respect between creators, creator gods and source gods. And I think oh, that answers a big question for me. Okay, so let me just double check. Hold on, my energy's sinking a little bit right now. So okay, so that one isn't clear yet. But yeah, so there's respect among creators, unless like let's say that the Anunnaki created this planet, which I don't even think that they did. I think that they invaded this solar system, and let's say that they did though, and Archangel Michael heard the cry from the people of Earth that needed help, you know, and Archangel Michael and the archangels would be like the police of the universe. And if a planet was in need, like a planet was about to destroy itself, like we were, I should say, then we came, and that's why we came here. You know, that's why the angels came here and started incarnating to rewrite history and to create these timeline splits, for safety for people, and to give people choice. You know, like The Cabal chose this Earth, and I'm still here with them, and I'm helping them to ascend and to release and heal. Because those souls need a lot of healing. But yeah, I was gonna say, even if, and this is why Archangel Michael and Father are so amazing, because even if a being like the Anunnaki created this Earth, there's still Father is good and Michael is good, and he fights for good, for the forces of good. And you look at something that always made me like do that, is like the torture that happened in the Dark Ages. Can you imagine? Like, it's unfathomable what actually being tortured would like how that would impact somebody. I mean, it's just disgusting and repulsive, and that's why all the archangels are here. Because something bad was going on, and yeah, we're fixing it. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other things about the multiple universe theory. I think I covered most of the things that I've learned about it. The biggest thing is, like, we're living in Father's universe, so don't try and Archangel Metatron is encapsulating this universe, so nothing goes in or out of this universe without Metatron's say so, and the approval of Father and Metatron. So I mean, like, if you can't like cry to the highest light out there, it just doesn't make any sense. You're living in Father's creation, so don't be thinking that they want me to reiterate that the light of all lights, Jehovah, it does, like, what's your definition of light? What is your definition of light? And what's your definition of the light of all lights? It could be one of the names for the sun, for just this sun, so, and again, we're living in Father's creation, and Father is amazing. Look at all the beauty and wonder that he's created, and like laughter, for instance, or the sensation of joy, or that breath that you take. They just shot that into me, like the breath that you take upon seeing something amazing. Wow, they just did it twice. That's amazing. But and that's I guess I'll make another one. Okay, they want me to make another one directly at the Cabal, or the remnants of the Cabal, the crumbling Cabal. And yeah, that'll be my next video, I guess. Yeah, anything else? Okay, source. Oh, right. Okay, this is a big one. Okay, so Father is source, and because he created this epicenter of light that is infinitely wise and can sense and direct the flow of energy anywhere in the galaxy, in the entire universe. Like, we can only see 7% of that noodle. So yeah, and Father can comprehend the entire universe simultaneously. All. And right. And okay, so so if you think about it on a micro scale, the electrons that are rotating around our neutrons and protons faster than, like, they're going slower than the speed of light. But Father, those electrons are conscious, and if your light body is as sensitive as mine, I can ask Father to to show me proof of God, and he'll wave the electrons in my body, and in every single cell and every single atom in my body he'll go like that, or he'll do a swirl, and to show you that he's real, and the electrons of the entire universe are conscious, and can communicate with one another, and it's like wow. Okay, it's like if every single electron in the entire universe was a brain cell, they can all talk to one another, and that's how infinitely wise Father is. I'm sure there's more levels to it on a macro and micro scale, that are incomprehensible to the human brain, which they just said there are. Okay, and yeah, so it makes you think and makes you wonder what's humanly, or what's possible. It just makes you think that anything is possible. Because Father could make my atoms go faster than the speed of light if he wanted to, and I could completely dematerialize. And in the CE5 community, we talk about dematerialized like spaceships they could be right next to you. I could have a ship right next to me. Let's see if one will appear. I mean, Michael said no. Okay, not appear, but like be dematerialized. Okay, so there's hundred, like, ships, angels and ships and spaceships and ETs and higher dimensional beings come through my house all the time, and there's probably, I just got the number 5. There's 5 spaceships in my room right now, dematerialized. So that means they're atoms, the atoms that make up their physical vessels and their ship are going faster than the speed of light. So they could be sitting right here on my shoulder, and I would just feel a warm sensation on my shoulder. Yeah, so I do. So they just said, we'll go there, we'll do it. And maybe people that have better, that can see auras better than me could see that ship right there. But yeah, doing CE5 meditations, you get human DNA upgrades, and okay, he said save this for the one directed at the Cabal. But yes, CE5. Okay, they're saying that I covered everything. But yeah, so back to the wonder of God. What is humanly possible, or what is possible with humans, plus God. Like, God is all powerful, and doesn't we're his children, and he loves us. Don't you think that he wants us to experience like stuff like magic and incredibly orgasmic sex, which I have tapped into a bit, because my light body is fully crystallized, and my physical body is fully crystallized, so I'm a lot more sensitive to energy and light, and I've felt some extremely powerful orgasms because of it. So that's one thing that you can tap into, but that's only the beginning. And they, like, anything is like, it's unimaginable what Father could whip up, and a lot of that is in the astral realm, and there's yogis in India, and Buddhists in northern India, which should be like, I'm sure there's many Buddhists in Tibet still, but the Chinese are occupying Tibet, which will eventually fall apart. But yeah, it makes you think, like, maybe one day I could be a wizard, or just crazy shit like that. Like any fantasy story out there, minus the bloodshed and and negative things could be attainable, you know. And this is the true quest of life, you know. It's not to build and consolidate wealth, it's to become truly wise. And to become truly powerful is to brush shoulders with God himself, you know. And I guess uh, I can they're just saying like I can speak like God can, because Michael is the one. I can speak for him, and you can listen to my words and know that God is speaking, because I am a fractal of Michael, and Michael is the one who is like God. Thanks, guys.